new album, Vengeful Divination.
I wrote most of it.
This is our second album that we will be putting out, and it's been a long journey, but I think it's been a fun one.
Yeah.
This is your biggest writing job that you've probably ever done.
It is, but typically when I come to practice, so to speak, with at least one riff or a couple of riffs, it's never made into anything until you guys hear it. So no matter what I'm doing, teamwork. But no matter what I do by myself, whether it's cool to me or not, once you guys hear it, it always gets changed, always, no matter what it is, and it's always changed for the better.
Yeah, I think that goes for all the way around. I mean, really, that's kind of. I mean, like when I write stuff in my off time, like it's cool, but I will still want the other feedback because I know it's going to either enhance it or restructure it or do something a little bit more dynamic with what's already there.
Now, this is also our, about half this album was written without our original drummer, Brett Whitmer. So there was a whole new challenge there for us to write, all these songs without having a drummer and having to kind of contribute drums on our own. But we were able to pull it off, so I think the writing process went, I don't know, I think it went all right for what we had to work with.
Yeah.
Now, what about the recording process?
I hate recording.
I used to think I hated recording till Justin. I figured out how much he hated recording. So,
and I hated it a lot.
I hate it almost as much as Justin while it's going on. And then with the finished product, it's just like, oh yeah, that's why we do record.
Yeah, you're like, I did that.
Yeah. What about you? You were the one sitting behind the master.
I did all the majority of the mixing and mastering and editing and everything else behind, the studio aspect of it. It's a challenge. The second album definitely came out a lot different than the first. We had better equipment to start with, and then we've all learned a lot from the first album for recording and editing and everything else. Almost one take on most of them. I mean, we practiced some of these songs. Over a year, almost 2 years on some of these, I want to say.
Yeah, 2 of them for sure have gone on for a long time.
Yeah, so a lot of it, I mean, we went in, a lot of them were one take for everybody. A lot of it was. There's always parts that are, you either want to change or that aren't good enough or, you can do better. Yeah. And we've all experienced that, and we went through and we really did, I think, an awesome job doing this album.
Yeah. A little history for you. Back in the early ages of witchcraft, there was a guy named Matthew Hopkins, and he was called the Witchfinder General. But I've been updating our status and labeling Jesse as the Mixfinder General.
That's what that's all about.
Finder.
All right.
Because, instead of driving out the demons, he's driving them in so that we capture it on the recording. He's the Mixfinder General.
So now we're going to talk about the rest of the album, song by song, and review it and give our thoughts and give you the little bit of trivia that you want to hear about. Justin.
I wrote the intro.
Yeah.
Derek made it better.
I just did my part.
Yeah.
Like it was already solid. Yeah, everything you came up with. Yeah, and then
really
like Jesse throwing that fretless bass on there. There's a couple of fretless bass slides in there.
So kind of the history on this is Derek and I would come in and we'd hear Justin quietly playing this awesome little thing, and we're like, play it again. And he goes, no, it's not ready. And we had to wait till he was ready. But once he was ready, he unleashed it. And what you hear on the album is it. And it came out awesome. And it really, it gives you a beginning of a story, in my opinion.
Well, it's anticipation. It builds up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about our, let's see, our second song is Mask of the Black Death, Quagmire.
That's Derek.
Yeah.
Well, I think that initially, that's one of our older songs from this album that we've been playing for a while. And that one, man, I just remember that starting off with a riff up on the higher frets of the guitar, and then we just kind of jammed it out into a song.
Lyrically, that was Derek writing that. A lot of the riffs, a lot of this is Derek's song, no doubt about that. It's definitely a faster, more upbeat, real short song, just get to the point, drive it home.
Yeah.
Justin, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, for one, it's like one of our only E standard new songs.
Yeah.
Everything we have been writing, for some reason, is C sharp or B.
Yeah.
So the next song is Blade of Bell.
Didn't write it. Had nothing to do with it.
Actually, the start of that was one day I said, Derek, let me see your guitar. And the first guitar notes you hear are what I made, and that was pretty much all I contributed to the song. And then from there, Derek one day was playing that, and I was playing drums, and he just suddenly paused, and I kept playing on the drums. And going, what the hell is he doing? And that's how that whole intro sequence created itself through that dynamic. This song always reminds me of three of the most influential bands ever. One is Black Sabbath, two is Iron Maiden, and three Judas Priest. For some reason, I get all three of those bands out of this song. What do you guys think?
I get a lot of Priest and Sabbath out of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just feel like that's like an homage to the Sword. Like, I don't know why.
The Sword, okay.
Like, in fact, after the main verse riff of this song, I had to go back and listen to every single song in the Sword catalog, every different riff, to make sure that I didn't subconsciously just pull out a Sword
Recreate
riff.
it.
Yeah.
Lyrically, actually, I think it was Derek that came up with the Bell and the Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
And then I spun it off and made it kind of its own story called Blade of Bell. I'll let you interpret the lyrics. Divinations.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, this is Justin's baby. Go for it,
Totally
Justin.
mine.
Let's hear it.
This was quite a process because, you know, you go to write something and do a jam and you think you have something that you want, like, set in stone, but once other people hear it, it's the suggestions.
I completely get it because I don't think any of us has brought a song to the table that didn't get at least a little tweaked to suit the
And
band.
it took me a while before I ever showed it to those guys, and once I did, once we started playing it enough and making our tweaks here and there, it became a song that when we jammed, we had to play it like 3 different times because it was that fun. It was that good. I wrote the sound. I did not come up with the name or the lyrics. That was you guys.
Who came up with the name on that one?
Well, we kind of just brainstormed like one word. What does this song remind you of? One word. And we all kind of threw a word in.
We contracted the art out and said, we're just going to give you the music, no vocals, no lyrics, and you interpret what you see. And so he played the song over and over and got the beautiful artwork that's on our album cover. And then after he got that, he sent it to us, and the lyrics were written based on our interpretation of what the art is.
And then also,
Not
like,
much.
I think this might be the first song that you wrote the drums for out of our list.
This one we've played a million times, and it's been a part of our live show for just about as long as Justin's been a part of the band, Evil Toymaker.
Oh, that's my song as
Oh,
well.
wait. This is the song that got Justin his job.
That's
Yeah.
true. That legitimately is probably the first actual piece of music I wrote. But Evil Toymaker was a long road because I had those riffs and that basic structure for over a year, and then I ran into you guys and I brought it to the table.
Lyrically, I pulled out lyrics on this one based on some old video games, a villain out of those games. I'll let you guys try and figure out who it is. If you can understand a damn word I say. Troll Skinner. Go for it, guys.
This just started off with a riff that Jesse said made him feel like he wanted to puke. And so I think we just kept jamming that riff over and over. It actually even started before that, didn't it? Where you just had like some some really like 2 dark chords,
Yeah.
and then we busted into that riff that made him feel sick to his stomach.
It's such
That's good.
I remember that.
All those kind of riffs are dubbed the whale vomit riff. Is that right?
Yeah, whale vomit.
We've got a few of those in the catalog that we'll unleash later.
The whole song is one of our more, I'd say, dynamic songs. There's a lot of tempo change and a little bit of everybody doing something different in this.
And I think contribution-wise too, I think it's pretty evenly spread.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the riffs and structures were thrown in by all 3 of us on that one.
Lyrically, it was all Derek. Derek, you want to talk about those lyrics?
Yeah, so I had watched this movie called Troll Hunter in its original Danish language with the with the English subtitles. Don't ever watch it English dubbed. It kills the movie, makes it a cheesy B movie. But if you can get your hands on it, watch it in its original language. Phenomenal movie. I loved it. And so that's just kind of how the lyrics to this one came about. Just hunting trolls.
The Metamorphosa. The Metamorphosis. This is one that I started with bass tap, and suddenly somebody heard it and decided to start playing with it, and it progressed into a song from there.
It was a challenge to get this one down because of timings, trying to hold something, and I still am not completely comfortable with it.
Let me stop you there. If you listen really carefully, Justin's going to be on the left track. His squeals and what he does is actually really awesome in this song.
Yep.
He might dislike it, he might hate what he did, whatever. If you listen to it, I've heard this album hundreds of times already. It sounds amazing. He did a great job.
So on this song, I think this song you really get to hear a lot of what Jesse is capable of doing on the bass. So while it might not be complex guitar-wise, I think it is, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I think it is on the bass. There's a lot of stuff going on that has to have some serious attention paid to.
This is my first album with a fretless bass. I don't know, it's a different feel, it's a different play style, everything's different about it, even though it's just the difference between having frets and not. And it really makes for a different experience playing and a different sound. And I think actually Derek named this one. He talked about this book that he read in college.
Yeah, Kafka's The Metamorphosis, about a guy that slowly turns into an insect, cockroach, I believe, or something. I don't know. It's been a while, and then Jesse decided, well, why don't we just put it in, make the lyrics, since it was originally in German, let's make the lyrics in German. So vocally it's minimalistic, but it tells the story.
So now we have the album outro, which is kind of, if you took the intro and you took the outro and put them together, it's basically the intro and outro of a story, but it suited so well. And Justin, once again, the writer on that, you want to talk about that part?
It will relate to your life every day, whether, because it's not always lyrics that make you relate to music. It's the sound. So, the intro is like, oh God, this is hard. It's a struggle. I'm getting through it. But then once you hit that outro part, that's all this strummy chord stuff, it's like a relief. You made it. You did it. And this is, in a sense, your celebration.
Derek, you came in and wrote the rest of that outro. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
I think when we first started recording it, I just did like a one-take improv of an extended session, and then I went back and listened to it and heard stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like, and then I just sat down one night with his track on loop, just trying to find something that felt right. Like, it wasn't so much about what I was playing, but how it felt when I was playing.
It went very well.
The outro has much more of a heavy feel to it, both emotionally and musically to me. Especially coming off that whole album, you come to the outro and it just... the intro and the outro is almost like in the beginning of a movie when you have the guy that's just reading the book, to me. He's sitting in a robe, reading a book, telling you the story, and then it goes to the story. There's the whole story at the end. He's just completing the book, he closes it, and that's the outro. This album's a little bit shorter than our first one, but we did that intentionally just to get it out faster and into your hands. We're going to be offering this album online for free. That means you just go download it. You don't have to pay us a penny.
No, that means you have to download it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much have to.
There should be no second thought when you see FREE. Like, do it. And hopefully it makes you feel something. I don't really care what it makes you feel. If the music doesn't make you feel something, then either there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with you.
Or I'm going to wear
or-
a meat dress.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel something,
Yeah.
damn it.
Then we'll make something.
Yeah, because I don't give a shit whether you like it or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
We're doing what we like to do,
Yeah.
and hopefully some other dude likes it.
Yep.
Or chick. I hope chicks like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. As long as someone ends up banging their head over it,
Yeah.
besides us, it'll make me happy. I'm happy either way.
Well, this album's been awesome. I've enjoyed making it with these guys. I love these guys. These guys are family to me. We definitely miss Brett's presence on this album. He did influence a lot of what we did. Thank you for everything you've done, Brett. I can't have enough good things to say. I feel that this is a really good album. I think that anybody who loves metal is going to love this album. AshesOfAbaddon.com. This is Jesse.
Justin.
And Derek.
Woo! Thanks,
That's
guys.
classic right there.
On video, I'm a big wiener.